finances actually is not a cast in stone. Everybody's story is different. I tell people that if you have some sort of sickness or health issue, you will definitely call the doctor. You will not call the mechanic. If you have a financial issue, you should call a financial advisor. The old mutual survey that was done in 2024, one of the findings was that just 10% of working Ghanaians have financial advisors. Budgeting is not only your financial plan. What you actually need is to develop a habit that can sustain you.
Hey there, it's another beautiful moment here at the Entrepreneur Spotlight. We're still on the journey of navigating the world of entrepreneurship. We've talked about how to turn your passion into a career, how to manage money, and many other wisdom nuggets that are going to help you on this journey. Today, we're going to take it to the next level. We'll be talking about good money habits in bad economic times, and we are being joined by a distinguished financial advisor and a global speaker with a decade of proven excellence in financial planning, investment advisory, and wealth management. He is widely recognized for delivering high-impact financial solutions and strategic guidance to individuals, families, and organizations across diverse financial landscapes. He's also the CEO of BNO Advisors, and he's in the person of Mr. Benjamin Nathan Otchere. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Otchere.
Thank you, Sika, for inviting me.
It's really good to have you here. Could you tell us a bit more about your company, BNO Advisors?
Okay, well, BNO Advisors is a financial planning institution, or let me say a financial planning consulting firm. And what we basically do is that we help people to plan their finances very well. There's been research that I've come across that really tells of the kind of problem people are facing when it comes to finances. The research shows that a lot of people are actually having financial issues. For example, is the PwC 2023 survey findings I came across. One of the basic things that was asked from employees was that what is your top stressor? And one of the things they mentioned was finance. In fact, more than 57%, if my memory serves me right.
That's more than half.
Yes, more than half are facing stress by their finances. And 2024 Old Mutual survey finding also says the same story. About 60 people of working Ghanaians are financially stressed. So, 2 years ago, I decided that, okay, let me just go out there with a background of financial literacy that I have, trying to get people around and teach them what really they have to use their money for or how to manage their money. Then I decided to establish this to help people. So really what BNO Advisors is here to do is that we are helping you put your finances in shape and then try to let you thrive with your finances.
Then your findings are really, with this conversation, good money habits in bad economic times, it's in line with the findings you had, because I think you mentioned that more than half of employees feel that finance is a top stressor. And even in our current day-to-day, I believe that a lot of young people think that finance is one big stressor for them, like access to daily needs, meeting the needs from work, from families, their personal lives. It's a whole burden on its own. So, and that's on its own is like a stress, plus the fact that the economy is not so stable. So combining the two is a whole, new state for them.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. It is. So I'm just wondering, for somebody who has got their first salary and inflation is rising so fast, what would you say to that person? How much should they invest? What should be the best move they should make?
Okay, so that's a good question. On top of my head, I think that there've been a lot of theories, or let me say a lot of strategies and methods that have come out to help people to kind of save. One of the things that I'll mention in relation to this question is the Pareto principle, where you look at, from the view of budgeting and finance, we say that 80% of your money has to be spent on you, and then 20% has to be saved. So for starters, those who just started working and then they receive their first salary, at least you can go with the Pareto principle, where you do 20% of your salary in savings or investing. I don't really advocate for savings that much. I rather advocate for investing, because what you get on savings is far below. It cannot match inflation. Just like you are mentioning, inflation is still high. So it will be better for you to do the 20% in your investment than to do any other thing in saving. So the 80% is for you to spend. Then the 20 is for you to invest. Having said that, I always say that these things are not cast in stone. Okay, you need to actually look at your lifestyle. You need to look at the strength of your income, and you need to decide for yourself that this is what is really good for me. There are theories there and all those things, but they are not cast in stone. Try and then look at your finances, your behavior, and the strength of your income to be able to ideally determine how much you can invest.
So, for those who are used to online payments and exchange rates keep fluctuating, how do you think they can track their expenses or their spending habits?
Okay, I think with that question, it all boils down to your plan. And we are talking about good habits. So for me to just try to explain it very well, habits are just repetitive, consistent behaviors, okay, of every individual. So if you really want to do well and then even maneuver through the fluctuations of foreign exchange rates, you have to have a plan. You should have a plan. And your plan should be in such a way that it gives you the control over whatever expenses that you have. So in fluctuating FX environment, at least you know that you have a plan. So you should stick to your plan. For example, if somebody uses a payment platform all the time, for me like this, I don't like holding cash. Or I use my Momo and then my bank app. So what I do is that I know what I'm supposed to spend in a month. And everything that I spend on, that I check on my budget, is actually what I'll spend on. If there's something that I'll have to buy maybe online because of exchange rate, I need to go back and check and see whether it still falls within my budget. You see, because with the exchange rate, you don't have a control over it. But with your budget, you have a control. And so if you have developed a very good habit of spending or knowing how to spend, then you'll be able to control what you, it all boils down to the habit.
The habits.
Yes, and then so I was excited to really come for this section, because the habit alone is what makes the difference. And that's how come it's very difficult for people to become rich. It's very difficult. It's not a joke.
Because I think habits, it takes a lot of discipline
to
maintain habits.
Exactly. And you need to be repeating it. So if you don't have that muscles to develop a habit, there's no way you can make it. You will get $1 million back and then it's gone in the next day.
Yeah. Okay, so in today's age, there are lots of young people who are trying to make ends meet by having a side hustle, in quotes. Aside the main corporate work they are doing, they are trying to do a little gig here and there, learn a skill or two, and sometimes it's a challenge combining it with the corporate work. It's either one is outweighing the other. They are not able to know how to manage the two. And recently I'm told that we've moved past work-life balance. It's now work-life integration. What do you have to say about that?
Wow, probably you will have to explain the work-life integration for me. But from what I understand, I think work-life balance is still important.
Very.
And it's not something that I'll say that it has become obsolete.
Okay.
Maybe an integration is another word for it. But whatever it is, you need to really know how to balance your side gig and then your work. My business is a side gig. okay, I'm not doing this full time. I work in the corporate world 8 to 5, and then I still do this side gig. Now, the difference is this. I am able to go through my working day, and my desk is always busy. Do whatever I have to do. Then after work, after 5, I try as much as possible to get the work done. So I have a to-do list for my corporate work, and I have a to-do list for my side gig. So within the week, you see the two. I have the one for corporate and the one for side gig. So by the time I finish, I know that the week, by the time I finish with the to-do list, I know that this week I have to complete A, B, C, D tasks on my side gig, and then A, B, C, D on my corporate work. And I need to always check it. So all the time after work, sometimes it could be just 2 days in the week, sometimes it could be 3 days, and then I utilize my weekend. I mean, the whole weekend is there for you. You have about 48 hours. Aside going to church and 1 or 2 programs, you know, you need to have time for yourself and then understand that this is what you have signed up for, and this is what you have to do for yourself. And so that's how I balance it. I don't know for any other person, but what I do gives me joy. I love it, and I am able to rest enough. So I think I've balanced it. I don't know about the integration you talk about.
But do you think that in the balance, the stress, or because it's something you love doing, it's not so stressful for you?
I think there could be some sort of stress. Stress has its own way of coming around, our life endeavors.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, there's a stress, but because I love it, I'm able to go through and find a way to reduce the stress. Okay, so some stress can come in when sometimes you are not even finding the solution to the problem you are trying to resolve.
Yeah.
Because for me, I know that every business you get is actually a problem you need to solve. And so for me and everybody who is having financial issues, I tell people that if you have some sort of sickness or health issue, you will definitely call the doctor. You will not call the mechanic, or you will not call a photographer. If you have a financial issue, you should call a financial advisor. You should have a financial advisor. In fact, the old Mutual survey that was done in 2024, one of the findings was that just 10% of working Ghanaians have financial advisors. Just 10%. So I wonder how people who are facing financial issues, how they maneuver. Is it that they are calling their doctors? Is it that they are calling their pastors? They are calling mechanics to resolve the issue for? Because people don't really do that, especially in our environment, Ghana and Africa. But when you go out there, that's something that they do. If they have financial issues, they go to financial advisor. So in doing that, in solving somebody's problem, sometimes it can give you the stress. But you need to find a way to solve it. And if you love it, if you have passion for it, it makes it easier for you to go through.
I see.
Yeah.
So back to what you said concerning the habit, you mentioned that it's constant, repetitive, and I think a lot of young people have an issue when it comes to budgeting. So at the beginning of the month, they have their money, they're able to plan, okay, this goes into this, I'm going to pay tithes, I'm going to invest this, and it looks like everything is planned out. And along the line, something comes up, and then say the money that was supposed to be for investment, they spend it on something else. That looks tangible, that looks more, it's a beautiful excuse. Maybe it's an emergency or something. And at the end of the day, they realize that, but I had a plan and it couldn't go well. And it keeps repeating, and for some reason they just stop budgeting, and the money comes and they just spend it anyhow. How do you think that they can maintain discipline when it comes to budgeting?
Right. So first of all, I think that I want to say that budgeting is not only a financial plan. Budgeting is not only your financial plan. As a person, and in fact, I'm working on a new article to be published in Business and Financial Times. And I'll be writing on the must-have financial plans before the end of 2025. In that article, what I'm saying is that there are certain financial plans everybody should have. And budget is actually your, your lifeline in achieving all those goals on the budget, on the plan. So a budget is just one part of it. So with the situation you brought up, that you have a budget and you have planned for it and emergency comes, what it means is that you didn't actually have an emergency plan.
Yeah.
You just had a budget. Okay. And the budget, you were saying, I'll spend A, B, C, D on 1, 2, 3, and then the rest I will invest or I'll put it somewhere. You were not so intentional that you put certain monies in an emergency plan, in an investment income plan, in an insurance plan, in a retirement plan. So these are the 4 plans I advise people to have. So your emergency plan, your insurance plan, your investment income plan, and then your retirement. So if you have a budget, this budget should be a channel through which all these financial plans should be fed. So if I have a budget and I earn 1,000 Ghana cedis, I can decide that, okay, per my goals on the 4 plans I've mentioned, 100 cedis is going into each. You get it? So that if I have an emergency, I'll go to my emergency fund or plan, pick the money, and solve my emergency. My investment income is still there, my insurance plan is still there, and my retirement plan is still there. They are all functioning. And your budget is intact. You get it? So if you don't have those kind of plans, it will be difficult because what I see with Ghanaians do is that maybe he has some 1 million, he has from 100,000, 400,000. They'll come to you and say, look, I have this money, I want to invest it. And you ask them, okay, why do you want to invest? All they know is that the interest that you are giving me is how much. That's what I want, and blah, blah, blah. But you see, that kind of style, okay, or let me say that kind of financial lifestyle is long gone. Because what it means is that if you have an emergency, you are going to use this same 400,000 you want to invest to solve it. If there is a school fees you want to pay, you are going to use the same amount. So then when other things come up, or even when you go on retirement, which money are you going to use again? So it will be prudent for you to maybe allocate this 400,000 to different plans so that every plan will solve something. You get it? Because I am sure that if you are sick and you mention a particular disease, or you are diagnosed of a particular disease, the doctor will not prescribe something that heals every disease. The doctor will prescribe meant for that, particularly for that. And that's how, finances, and that's how financial planning is. You have to have plans for specific things. If not, you will not get there.
So someone is wondering, I have allocated my money for all these 4 sectors, and say for the emergency plan, the money is not enough. The emergency, it has overed me in quotes, and it's not enough. What do I do?
Okay, so if your emergency plan amount is not enough for the emergency, at least you can resort to your investment income. That's another option. You can also look at your finances again and seeing whether you can even get some soft loan. I don't advise you to go straight to the bank and pick some loans. At least as human as you are, I'm sure you should have friends around that can help you in those times, So you can fall on such soft loans to resolve the issue. It will be very bad if you have no loaf. Because we always say that have a loaf is what? Better than none. It will be very bad if you don't have any loaf to eat. So if you have the half loaf, then you know that at least you are through halfway, and then you can get half from somewhere. And that reduces the expenses on your budget. For instance, if you want to get a loan from somebody, if you have an emergency fund, let's say the emergency is about 10,000, what is in your fund is about 6,000. You need extra 4,000. You can go to a friend to take 4,000 and then sort it out. But if you don't have anything,
that's
where the issue is. It means that you have to go and search for 10,000 Ghana, and no single person will give you 10,000 Ghana cedis to resolve your issue. At least you should have something. And that even encourages the person to give you. You understand? So it will be better if you have it, and then you've met the issue halfway, and then somebody is supporting. So that's what I
That's
advise to.
a very prudent way to go about it. Now, going back to what you spoke about, the side hustle, balancing it with your main work, a lot of people sometimes complain of the mental toll it takes on them. So let's even say that it's something you love doing. And even some of the side hustles nowadays, it's not necessarily something you are passionate about. It's just because you want to make ends meet, you want some small money from somewhere. So sometimes it's not something you really want to do, but you just have to do it. So in that position where you're not passionate about what you're doing, but then you just have to do it, how do you handle the mental toll it takes on you?
Okay, I think this is a very important question. To start with, also the PwC 2023 findings.
Yeah.
One of the findings in there was on mental well-being, and I think about 50% or more were saying that it was having a toll on their mind, or let me say on their mental health. For me, I would say that if you are not passionate about what you are doing, just stop it.
For the side hustle?
Yes, just stop it. It won't benefit you in any way, and you even meet a lot of stress down the line because it is something that you are not really passionate about, and you are actually chasing after something that really comes and go. Because you see, money is a current,
Yeah.
and it's actually called current because it's currency because it's a current. It flows, so it moves from somebody to you, and then to another person.
Yeah.
Then it moves. So when you have the money, you should be careful how, you use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so a lot of young people sometimes feel discouraged on their financial journeys when they are, every investment, you must have an objective for your investment. So some people, maybe they want to invest to buy something or to put into their business. They have a lot of objectives, but along the way, they feel discouraged because maybe things are not going the way they planned. How would you advise such people? And let's say they even want to give up because they feel like this whole investment and I'm even tired. I just want to stop. What would you say to them?
Okay, well, they shouldn't give up. It's a fight. It's a fight that we cannot give up, because if you really want to make it in your finances, if you want to be financially free, if you want to be financially independent, it's a fight that you cannot stop, okay? Because you were not actually oriented in that manner. It is now that you are trying to develop that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So even in our life, we go to school 4 years in the university, try to even do some 6 years for medicine, petroleum engineer, and all those kind of things. We actually go to school to learn these things to earn a certain substance, which is called the money we are talking about. But we don't get to sit down to learn about money. You guys get it? You don't have a single day or week to sit down to learn about money. So your orientation is not to actually learn about money and use it. Your orientation is to learn about a skill or a knowledge and then apply that knowledge and get the money. You get it?
Yeah.
So if you are fighting to become financially independent, don't give up. It's not an easy thing. You actually need, in fact, in the first stages of your life, if you take this thing serious, financial literacy, financial education, you are trying to educate yourself and even to implement it, it will not be easy. Because there's even a large, or let me say a vast difference between learning about money, okay, and then even using what you have learned.
That's true.
You understand? So it will not be an easy journey. It will not be an easy journey. But if you don't give up, you will definitely reap it. So people shouldn't give up. They should. It has happened to me before. Those days when I started working, try to see how things will go. I realized that things are not too well. I need to put my finances in order and all that. Started with budgeting, reading about finance and all those things. In fact, it wasn't easy. I nearly gave up, but I was still hearing that still small voice that was telling me that, look, you need to still go ahead. This is your training grounds. You need to still go ahead. This is your training grounds. And when that big, opportunity comes, you will not find yourself wanting. And it has really happened. It has really happened. I don't struggle to put money aside again. I have my retirement plans. I have my investment income plan. I have my insurance. I have my what do you call it? Emergency. You understand? So I don't really struggle to do those things because I was able to develop those kind of
habits,
good money habits. Okay, and then when you have the bad times, you are still formidable.
Then I think a lot of people need to know that habits have developed over time.
Exactly.
So I think in the process it will stretch you because you're not used to it, and it will be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
But with time, we get used to it. Like the same way you shared yours, that with time you became better. But I also think that moving forward, it should be implemented in our education system, like where we get to learn about money, like a course on its own. I don't know if you get it, like where we not just passing by money conversation, we hit the nail on the head and talk about money, because a lot of young graduates come out and they don't even know certain basic things, and you can't blame them entirely because we don't talk about it in school. We just try to talk about theory, other disciplines and all of that, but then the real financial literacy, we're not talking about it. So they come out and then even their first salary is a struggle. They don't even know about the 4 plans you just spoke about, and then they are misusing the money every time, and it's a real issue. Now, coming back to money matters and friends, or let's say relatives. There are a lot of people who sometimes struggle when it comes to budgeting their money, because they think that, say you are the head of the home or you are supporting your siblings through school, and then you get your own money and then you are budgeting, and then for some reason you are unable to make provision for their needs because the money is not enough, and along the line something comes up, say from a sibling, and you have to meet the need because of the nature of your responsibility, and it looks like it stretches them. So most people give the excuse of, I'm the breadwinner, I'm taking care of 4 siblings, our parents are not really available, and it looks like they're not able to plan very well when it comes to their finances. It's taking a toll on them. How can you help such people?
Okay, this is a very tough one, I must say. I mean, it will be a hard nut to chew. Okay, and it's a very tough situation, and I really sympathize with those who are in such a situation. In fact, Ghanaians are always in that situation. Okay, and it will always be like that. It will always be like that. So what I would tell people is that, look, face the fears and let your family people know that you cannot do it all alone. I think there's an account adage that says that, which means that if one tree continues to, take the blowing of the wind,
everything, it
will break. So you cannot do it all, and you need to accept that. You need to accept that. You should have that hard conversation with them and say that, look, I can help you to this point. At this point, you need to continue. You need to find a way, and you should be able to suggest ways and means, because the kind of orientation and mindset we have as Ghanaians also counts. This that you are going to tell your brother, look, I can help you to this point, you need to continue. Your brother will just take it as you don't want to help again.
You completely.
Meanwhile, you have helped him from wherever to this point, and now you are telling him that, and they will not appreciate it. But hey, don't beat yourself up. Let them know that this is what you can do. And again, it also boils down to your budgeting and your plan. Nobody at retirement, okay, for example, would come and give their money to you every month or every quarter. Nobody will do that. Now that phase of your children trying to feed you, okay, or trying to take care of you is fading out.
That's true.
You should be able to plan your retirement in such a way that at that time you will be able to help your children out, because there's no job. You understand? There's no job for the fresher, the entry person in any corporate world. So you should plan your life in such a way, because nobody is going to, the person that you are trying to say that because of him or her you cannot plan your finances, that person will actually not even be there to give you the money that you want at retirement. So still go according to your plan, put money aside, put them in your budget, and then support them, but know that you cannot do all. And I must say that with situations like that, you cannot be like a normal person because your world is different.
That's true.
And that's what I always tell people, that finances actually is not a cast in stone. Everybody's story is different. So when somebody is going to Turmeric Hotel to go and eat, you cannot go there. That is not your world. Stick to your world and build it. Then after some time, you can be able to get there, and then everything will be fine.
You know, the truth is some people are living on generational wealth. So you can't live the life they are living.
Exactly.
And I think in our generation, there's a lot of comparison, a lot of competition. I want to be like this person. I want to, because of social media, what you are seeing every time, it looks very glamorous.
Exactly.
So you want to eat where they are eating, you want to wear their dresses and all, and you miss out on your own plan, on your own. And I think people need to be aware of what you are seeing, that we are not in a competition. You need to have your own plan and then stick to it. So as we wrap up, I just want you to encourage someone watching you. He or she is scared about the future, you know, in this unstable economic times. And as they have their financial plans and all, they're not so certain of what the future holds, and it brings some fear in them. What can you say to them?
Okay, so what I'll say is that the economy will still be the same. Okay, you know, in an economy we have cycles. Okay, there are periods of peak and there are periods of troughs. The peaks are the good times, the troughs are the bad times. And so it will always be like that. It will always be like that. You cannot run away from it unless God calls you to the heavenly home, and then you are no more. But so far as you are here in Ghana, any part of Africa, or any part of Europe, or the Americas, or Asia, or whatever, economic times will always be a good and a bad. What you actually need is to develop a habit that can sustain you. You need to foolproof your finances. You need to be resilient in your finances. And how do you do that? You do that by having financial plans. If you have financial plans and then you automate it and you try to manage, because there are some times that we tell ourselves that if you get an extra job, if you get another stream of income, it will be fine.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
It's true.
That's not the case. The real thing here is that if you are able to manage your expenses, that is where you will be fine. There's a concept that talks about lifestyle inflation. And lifestyle inflation is this: you try to always increase your expenses or your appetite for things when your income increases.
It's true.
And a lot of people have that.
It's true.
That kind of behavior that everybody has is what is killing us. It is not about extra stream of income. It is about that kind of behavior to reduce your expenses, manage your expenses, be disciplined about your expenses, and then you can make it. And that is why somebody who earns 5,000 Ghana cedis a month is able to build a building, and somebody who earns about 20,000, 30,000 is not able to build. It's because that 5,000 person has managed his expenses.
So it's never really about the money.
No, it's not about the money. It's about the habits, your behavior. I mean, we have something we call behavioral finance. If you look into behavioral finance, you realize that most of the things are emotions, are biases, and are habits. And that is what actually feeds into the kind of tax and activities we do around our money. So I'm encouraging everybody out there, if you are watching us today, or whatever time you get to watch, know that your behavior is very critical. Your mindset is very critical when it comes to finances. Try to look at your behavior, try to look at your habits to be able, and develop the good ones. Develop the good ones. If you are in a good economy, try to develop your habits very fast, okay, until the bad times come.
Yeah.
But when you are not able to do that, that is where the bad times become the opportunity for you to develop good habits. So, I mean, it can be, well, everybody can make $1 million in his lifetime if you want to. It's a decision. Wherever I go to speak, I tell people that, look, you can become a millionaire in your life if you want to be. And it is easy. Choice. It's a matter of choice, and it's a matter of discipline.
Matter of discipline. And you know, to be honest, I feel like it's the little expenditures that really take You know, the yogurt, the toffees, the small things that we are moved to buy. Like you mentioned, emotions. People think that when you talk expenses, the big amounts.
No.
Sometimes it's the little ones.
The little ones.
The little ones.
And you see, the interesting thing here is that sometimes you use the little ones. For example, you buy data, you buy yogurt, you go and buy Coke and all those things. But do you know that you can actually benefit from these things by owning stocks of these things? Farm milk is listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. You don't even have one stock.
Shares, you buy shares.
Or you don't even have one share. But you always give money to them. So when they declare profit, you are not even benefiting. But you are still giving them the money. So why don't you buy some of the shares, still give them the money, but at the end of the day, you get it back. MTN is listed. You are not even having, but you still continue to buy data. You'll be watching TikTok, you're watching IG here and there, Facebook, and all sorts of things, and you are not benefiting. MTN recently declared interim dividend about 0.08 pesos per share. Let's say you have 10,000 shares. That would be like some 800 Ghana cedis, of which, if let's say you have a broadband you are using in the house, you've been buying about 399 every month. This 800 Ghana cedis can cater for the next 2 months while your salary sets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic. Please, any last words for our audience?
Well, I'll say that poverty is a very bad thing.
It is.
And I won't encourage anybody to be poor.
Nigerians say it's like poverty in a demon.
That is it. Poverty in a demon. But you see, the interesting thing is that sometimes, if you look at it from that way, you may miss it. It is because of certain repetitive behavior that we have gotten ourselves into. That is what is bringing that. So change your lifestyle. First of all, try to change your mindset. Learn about money and how it's being used. It's very important. Try to get a financial advisor. Even if the financial advisor is going to charge you, get the person.
Worth it.
It's worth it, because research shows that those who have financial advisors are able to almost double and more of their money over time. You get it. And make sure that in your lifetime, you also be the person from the family that will be called a millionaire, because it's easy. It's easy. It's just about trying to put certain things in place and knowing how much you can. And if, in fact, for those who are young, it's quite easy for you to even hit 1 million or more. It's easy because in your time, you have a lot of the years ahead of you. And then you can even contribute the little cedis into any good investment account and then hit it. So it's possible for us to escape all the poverty that we are seeing around. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's possible for us to escape all the poverty we are seeing around. This comes from our wonderful guest speaker, Mr. Otchere, who has told us about the 4 important plans you need to have in your life: the emergency plan, insurance plan, investment income plan, and the retirement plan. It's very possible to be financially independent. You just have to be disciplined and build the good money habits. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from this and our previous episodes as well. And not forgetting Turmeric Hotel for giving us this wonderful space, and also our lovely partners, KJL Foundation. Thank you so much for always supporting us and always believing in us. See you in the next episode. Stay tuned.